Assalamu alaikum.
Once you reverted to Islam and made your Shahada, you already declared your full submission to Allah, which means that you declared that you are a servant of Allah. Does this contradict the fact that we human beings have a natural tendency to be free and to have our own free will? Many psychologists, biologists, and others confirm that we actually wired to be free. The more free we get, the more productive we are. The sense of freedom grants us happiness and well-being, while being enslaved is a cause of misery and disorders. Also, psychologists claim that we positively comply more with orders and requests if they were offered with a space of free choice. These observations look okay, yet it had many defects as well, because we all have witnessed that some kinds of freedoms didn't lead to any happiness at all. Rather, they were a cause of misery. Secular societies granted humans the full freedom to do whatever they want, whenever they want, unless this freedom would inflict harms to others. But 1400 years ago, our Prophet said, the likeness of the man who observes the limits prescribed by Allah and that of the man who transgresses them is like the people who get on board of a ship after casting lots. Some of them are in its lower deck, and some of them in its upper deck. Those who are in its lower, when they require water, go to the occupants of the upper deck and say to them, if we make a hole in the bottom of the ship, we shall not harm you. If they leave them to carry out their design, they all will be drowned. But if they do not let them go ahead, all of them will remain safe. Due to man's limited knowledge, he destroys the ship and all of a sudden finds himself drowning, not knowing why it happens. In conformity with our instinct, we are actually wired to admit our slavery just to Allah and no one else. And the more we know about the conditions of slavery, as more as we appreciate it. I remember I was watching in a TV part of sermon at Catholic Church, and it happens that the pastor was mocking Islam by saying to the audience, what do you prefer, to be a son of God or a slave of God? A naive person would choose, of course, to be a son of God, while a sound Muslim should answer that way. As God declared that He begets not, nor is He begotten, so I have no way but to be a slave of God. Slavery to Allah is completely different than any slavery we witnessed or listened about. Allah gave all humans the freedom whether to believe in Him or to deny Him. As He said, and say, the truth is from your Lord. So whoever wills, let him believe, and whoever wills, let him disbelieve. Slaves of humans have to satisfy the lords in order to pay them back, while Allah was the first to give and the first to love. Allah says, O you who have believed, whoever of you should revert from his religion, Allah will bring forth in place of them a people He will love, and who will love Him. Humble toward the believers, powerful against the disbelievers. They strive in the cause of Allah and do not fear the blame of a critic. That is the favor of Allah. He bestows it upon whom He wills. And Allah is all-encompassing, and knowing. Ibn al-Qayyim once said, it's not a wonder that a poor, needy one loves the one who is charitable to him, but it is a wonder that the charitable one loves the poor. One of the uncountable blessings Allah granted exclusively to His obedient slaves is to enfranchise them from all false lords and gods trying to enslave them. Faithful Muslims are the only human beings who were able to get themselves free from any monad slavery. A righteous Muslim can free himself from the unlawful desires that enslaved billions of humans all around the world. Prophet Muhammad said, every person starts his day as a vendor of his soul, either freeing it or causing its ruin. He also said, May he be miserable, the worshipper of the dinar and dirham, and the worshipper of the striped silk cloak. If he is giving anything, he is satisfied, but if not, he is unsatisfied. Satan, who is in a feverish, Islam lets you free from Satan, who is in a feverish following and persecuting of you to inflict you harm at each of your steps. Islam sets you free from your own self that is a persistent enjoiner of evil, to free yourself from greed, hatred, and treason. This is the true enfranchisement bestowed upon us by Allah. And no other discipline could let their followers to purify themselves and break all the shackles, grabbing them to earth. So let you free to go higher in faith, to reach. So enjoy your freedom with Islam.